We're in it now.
We're in it now.
Doing it.
We're in the flow.
Happening. Very, very loud audio. We can all. Yeah. We're watching. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, there's a. Oh, that's Space Station there. Yeah, look at that.
That's pretty good. Wow. Dude, that's like ready to go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tomorrow. My name is Space Mike, and you are joining us here on Tomorrow. Welcome to Space Church, where we have a lot of stuff to talk about today. Good. Already got you going already. Some of us are in the stages of grief when it comes to the Dreamchaser space plane, which has been downgraded and effectively canceled all of the cargo flights to the International Space Station. However, there's lots of good news this week where we have some really cool news coming out of NASA with a new astronaut class, a lot of hype for Artemis 2, which is definitely aiming for a February launch, sometime between February and April of next year, just a few months away. And Orion finally has a name, Integrity, at least the one for this particular mission, which is cool, and we'll talk about that a little later. Plus, there's all sorts of things going on in the industry when it comes to the commercial space stations and the endless budget for NASA and the United States government to keep things going. So a lot of stuff to talk about today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We have the full crew today. We are joined by Jamie Higginbotham. We've got Dutta here. We've got Ryan. We've got Jared. We've got the whole crew. So it's great to have everyone here and to have all of you guys here with us today. Thank you for joining us and looking forward to your comments about all of the things that we have to discuss today. So first off, shall we get into Dreamchaser? Did you guys see the news about Dreamchaser?
I only half perceived it. First off, I want to know if we should rename this show to Space Church, because I think that's amazing for the record. So what happened to Dreamchaser? Like, we're not going to fly it anymore. Now it's just a demonstration mission. What's going on? Yeah.
So just as a little bit of context, where we were at in the most recent development is we were waiting for the demonstration flight of Sierra Nevada to go to the International Space Station, berth for the first time, maybe have a few items on board, but there was a lot of difficulty that Sierra Space was having with software. Let me pull up a presentation here so that we can look at a couple of pretty images while we're discussing this. With the software issue, they were having issues, similar types of issues that Boeing was experiencing with errors during the rendezvous to the International Space Station. In all their simulations, they kept having difficulty and it kept getting pushed back. As you may remember, Dreamchaser was supposed to have flown on the first flight of ULA's Vulcan rocket, but unfortunately that didn't happen because they weren't ready. And aside from the software issue...
I forgot the rendezvous issue. What happened during rendezvous? Like, it couldn't. There was something about it couldn't detect. What was it? No, I thought it was a thruster issue, wasn't it?
Well, if you remember the very first demo mission of Starliner, I'm talking about Starliner here, not Dreamchaser, because that hasn't flown yet. The very first one, they were having issues with LiDAR and the detection systems, and keep saying that it wasn't where it said it was supposed to be. And you may remember that they had to abandon their closest approach to the International Space Station and refly that demo mission. They were only supposed to have done one demo mission, but they had to refly that uncrewed in order to prove that all the software issue for rendezvousing and docking with the station had been sorted out. Whether or not it's the exact same issues, I don't know, because both NASA and Sierra Space has just said software issues, and they've needed more time and more simulations to go over this because it's not meeting our safety standards. I don't know exactly what that means, so I'm only assuming here that it's some sort of similar related issue. And in all fairness, actually, over the past month, it turns out that the LiDAR systems on the International Space Station that they do their optical links with were actually malfunctioning, at least one of them. So that Starliner flight maybe, possibly, sort of might not have been Boeing's fault, although we're still going to blame Boeing. NASA can do no wrong, of course. So whether or not that was an issue or not, I don't know. I'm going off on tangents here, but the latest with that we all had been expecting with Dreamchaser is they were pushing it, still expecting to maybe sort of have a flight before the end of this year or early next year once those software issues were sorted out. Well, now the latest announcement has been that they have decided to no longer do a demo flight to the International Space Station, but for the first flight of Dreamchaser, it would be a free flying demo. It might still get close to the International Space Station, but definitely away from the keep out sphere and not get any closer to that or pose a risk to the space station. But it would not attempt to do any sort of close to get into that keep out sphere, or attempt any berthing at the International Space Station. And
isn't it already shipped and stacked?
It is. Yes, it is. It is shipped and stacked and been there for over a year now.
This feels dumb.
They're changing mission profile after it's been shipped and stacked.
Yep. And because of that, they now need an extra year or more to do that new mission profile of a free flyer. Right now, they're saying it's not going to do that free flying mission until late 2026, which, due to Berger's Law, means probably early 2027.
Berger's Law. Eric Berger. Love Eric Berger. Wait. I have a theory. Is this because NASA doesn't have the money to support the program? Is this not a Dreamchaser problem? Is this a NASA problem?
Could be. It could be. Part of this announcement is that there's no longer guaranteeing the 6 cargo flights to the International Space Station. That was part of their contract with CRS-2. Was that they would have a guaranteed 6 flights before the end of the International Space Station. Well, unless if they get operational and we solely rely on Dreamchaser, there's no way, if their first flight is late 2026, early 2027, that they would be able to accomplish 6 cargo flights before the end of the space station in 2030, or earlier if there's any other problems. Let's not forget that the leak could get worse today, and that's the end of the space station. So there's no guarantees, guys, that it could be till 2030, but that's what everyone's planning on right now.
Fazila is saying they also don't have their thruster certified, so maybe it's risky for the space station. So maybe it's a little bit of all of the above, right?
That's actually true too. That's true too.
Right? Like NASA has a funding problem right now. And then, maybe Sierra Nevada is just not ready.
Yeah, that's what it seems like, which is such a huge disappointment.
As Kenneth is saying, 2027 is sad, but how much life is left in the space station? I want to give Sierra Nevada, it's still Sierra Nevada, right? Who owns them now?
It's technically Sierra. Hands. It's technically Sierra Space, but same company. Okay. Yeah, because Sierra Nevada does a lot of other stuff, so they lumped all of their space products into just Sierra Space, so that we don't have to get flooded with their other stuff.
Apparently, Ryan spoke about it on something called NSF. Never heard of it before on This Week in Spaceflight. Ryan, did you have additional insight on this?
It's just really surprising. Well, surprising is not the right word, because there's obviously been difficulties with Dreamchaser, right? But it's just the fact that everything seemed to be going okay. There were delays. When does aerospace not have delays, right? Delays are to be expected with every aerospace program. I'm talking 2021, 2022, 2023. But then we get to the end of 2023, the start of 2024. They've done that. They've done their final round of testing up in Ohio, and they ship Dreamchaser down to the Kennedy Space Center to be ready to launch, for pre-flight processing. They were at the last step towards launching this vehicle, and then ever since that point, May 2024, it's just been silence, just radio silence. And people have asked NASA, in literally every single press conference surrounding the International Space Station program, what's up with Dreamchaser? When's Dreamchaser going to launch? You're talking about all of these Progress and Soyuz and Dragon resupply missions. What's happening with Dreamchaser? And then they just bat around the question by saying yeah, we're in discussions with Sierra. We'll figure it out when they have a time. We'll then go and sort out our schedules and whatnot. And then all of that silence has led up to today, or the announcement earlier in the week, and it's like, oh, everything seemed to be, progressing up gradually towards the point of a first flight. Everything suddenly stopped, and now we're not going to get anything. It's just, it's quite disappointing.
Arvale has a good point. Maybe we could see Dreamchaser visit a VAST station, right? Like International Space Station is not our only option moving forward. Commercial space is going to be opening up with space stations very, very soon. And so, and it's such a cool looking vehicle. And commercial space stations, they're going to need cargo deliveries. They're going to need crew deliveries. They're going to need all of the things. So maybe Sierra Space will be in a great position where they're like ready to go.
Sierra Space themselves are building hardware for the Orbital Reef space station. Like, they are one of the key partners in Orbital Reef. So that I have no doubt that there could be potential destinations for Dreamchaser going into the future. It's just, not great.
Yeah, matter of fact, here's their plans right here. They took over the TransHab technology and have been doing quite a bit of extensive testing on it. And they have all sorts of plans. And it seems like they're kind of splitting off from the Orbital Reef project, which this was supposed to have docked to, and are kind of promoting it as their own thing. I mean, they are even pushing smaller ones that could be attached to the lunar gateway or even a surface habitat, which I kind of think would be a great idea if they got the funding for it. However, their plans are all over the place. Before even flying their first Dreamchaser, they already have plans for another space plane to eventually be a crewed space plane and both do cargo and crew with both types without having ever flown the first one. So, and also real quick, just for memories, nostalgia's sake, you guys remember this? Remember what they took from us? Remember when it was going to launch on Strato launch on either a Falcon 5 or some other Orbital Sciences derived rocket? Remember that? Remember that? Also remember this? Remember when it was supposed to fly on Virgin Galactic to do its high altitude drop test? Remember that? I do. I remember that. 20 years, guys.
Is it
Strato Launch's rock doesn't have
20 years?
It has been over that. Space Dev reignited the project in 2004. Benson Space Dev in 2004. Sierra Nevada got it from them in 2008. And I remember in 2011, during the last space shuttle flight, they were pushing, like, this is how I first heard about it, was them pushing this little mini space shuttle that's going to take over someday. And that was before even COTS or commercial crew or any of that.
Ooh, that's concerning.
Strato Launch's rock doesn't have the capability to lift that big of a rocket.
Yeah.
Is this a Sierra Space management problem? Is this Sierra Space being old space and they don't understand how to actually keep up with a modern space industry? Is that what this actually is?
Yep. Would you like to go over some Glassdoor reviews? Because I was looking at what former employees have said. And
I mean, maybe.
Pretty much the consensus is pretty much the same everywhere. A lot of the former employees said, great people, great benefits, horrible management, dishonest C-suites, constant layoffs that hurt morale, rolling layoffs. You never know what's going to happen. Turnover amongst their C-suite and upper management. Just poor management all across the board. And I mean, there's people getting on Twitter, they're on another NSF stream. They brought up a guy who had worked 8 years ago doing tiling work on this and just reaffirmed that their management sucks and doesn't know what they're doing and have this idea that they are on par or better than SpaceX without having launched anything.
Oh, man.
So yeah, it's 100% a management problem. I feel like the end of Sierra Space started when they got rid of Mark Sarangelo.
You can point to a lot of problems in aerospace at the management level, right? Like it's that.
Yes, you can.
Well, right? Like it takes something special to be able to get to space, and you can't just rest on your laurels. And it has to start at management and C-suite. It just has to. It has to start from the top down. And if they don't have that vision, if they don't have that drive, I don't know. You can't just sit here and do this stuff forever.
And
right? Like,
it's not just upper management and C-suite, it's management all the way down.
that's true. I mean, that's true of any company, I would argue, right? But like, yeah, that's true.
The thing that gets
Womp
me is how
womp.
much investment
You
they've
can have
gotten.
you can have a CEO with an amazing vision, but if the layers beneath them, all the way down to the independent contributors or individual contributors, are not on board with that vision and don't know how to make those puzzle pieces work, you're still not going to get there.
Fazillo points out, isn't Jamie management? I am. But like, I'm a contributing manager. I don't just point my finger and say, go do this. I put the work in too. I'm in the trenches with my team. It's why I travel around the country so much. I go from team to team to team, and I'm not sitting there telling them what to do. I'm saying, how can I help you? Right? Like and this is just me, and I'm not whatever, but I view management as service to the employees, not the other way around, right? I serve the people who work in my team, and it is my job to make sure that they have the tools necessary for success. It is my job to make sure that we can steer the ship in a way where we can get to victory. And that doesn't mean that I sit there and I yell at people and tell them what they're doing wrong. It means that I figure out where they've got problems and try to fix those problems for them. Fundamentally, I work for them, not the other way around.
Eliminate roadblocks.
Eliminate roadblocks. That should be my goal. Or like if they're going down an avenue, like if they're going this way and I need them to go this way, I gently, steer that and be like, no, this is why, like, we need to go this way and this is why, right? That's my management technique. And I think that I don't want to speak for other managers at Company X, but that's generally the stance at Company X, right? Management is held to a higher standard than anyone else, right? That's how it should be, right? If my team fails, I take the brunt of that, not the other way around. Anyhow, and that's how aerospace should be, right? We should everyone in management, it shouldn't be, yeah.
When it comes to Dreamchaser, something else that gets me is how much money they've received between commercial crew, commercial cargo. At a minimum, $500 million, probably closer to $1 billion. They've had several different series rounds, and they've pivoted towards a lot of the national security stuff. As a matter of fact, that's what they're kind of pitching Dreamchaser for now. They want it to be another X-37B. And in addition to that, they want to pursue all the pharmaceutical stuff, crystal growth experiments, and other types of stuff, the orbital manufacturing that we've discussed in the past, which would be even better than some of the others already doing that because of its potential to land at any runway and get that product delivered to their customer very quickly. Great idea. The unfortunate thing for me, from my perspective, is even if they're successful in both of those avenues, we will never see it. If they're doing those crystal growth experiments, at the request of the customer, the broadcast will end before payload deployment and even payload fairing separation. If they're doing the DoD X-37B type missions, we'll definitely never see it. And at the request of the customer, broadcast will end before that. So we will never see this thing unless it goes to one of these space stations. We will never actually see a picture or video of this thing in space, even if they're successful in what they want to pivot to. And I don't know. I'm just down about that.
Yeah, it's just because it's so cool, right? Like, let's like, we're sitting here knocking on it and whatever, but like, come on, man. Dreamchaser is one of the coolest spaceships out there, right? It hasn't flown in space, and we all want it to fly in space because of how freaking epic it is. Let's not pretend like that thing's not epic. Who here doesn't want to see it fly? Maybe Ryan, because he likes Ares 1X, so he's clearly wrong about things. But but like, you want to see it, like, you're sad because you want to see it fly, right?
Yeah.
It's
like,
a space shuttle you
you're
can fit in your
inspired by
pocket.
this thing. Wait, would you say it could fit in your pocket?
It's a space shuttle you can fit in your pocket.
Kind of. It's a teeny tiny little baby space shuttle, but like, space shuttle kind of drips of that like future. Don't get me wrong, capsules are cool. Like, physics loves a gumdrop. It just does. Like, sorry, that's physics. But like, space plane, yes, exactly this. Space planes are cool.
They have aura.
They're
Blunt bodies are cool, but blunt bodies with lift are amazing.
it's just cool, right? Like, It's just cool. And we're sad because we want to see it fly because of how cool it is. At the end of the day, that's what this comes down to, right? If I were to summarize it, we're sad about Dreamchaser because of how freaking epic it is. And we just want to see this stupid thing fly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, Melanie, there needs to be a plushie of Dreamchaser. I would buy a Dreamchaser plushie. Dreamchaser swag would be cool. Maybe that's how we get them to launch, is that we support them through their swag store.
At least get them to have one. 'Cause, yeah, I doubt that.
Now you got me thinking of flat patterns for how a plushie would be made.
Man, they don't got T-shirts. They don't have hats. They don't have anything.
Yeah, and that goes back to, because they don't talk about stuff. And I think that goes back to like that old space mentality. It's the same problem Blue has. And you can only do that for so long before you run out of runway, right? Like you cannot milk these systems forever and not expect something. Now, I think I am seeing change in Blue, very, very slow change because, it's a tortoise. But I am seeing it and I'm seeing positive progress there. So that's exciting. Well, it's in their coat of arms. It's got like two tortoises with like swords or something. I don't remember.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, that's their MO, right?
Ninja Turtles are in their logo?
Yeah, their old logo. You don't remember
Turtles.
They have the coolest old logo, and I'm sad that they got rid of it.
It's not their logo, it's their coat of arms. They didn't actually get right.
You're right. I just don't see it on anything anymore.
I mean, simplified feather.
This thing.
Yeah, right. And it looks like he's got a sword, doesn't it? Tell me that it doesn't look like it's a Ninja Turtle with the sword on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
It is a little bit funny because it's like the tortoise is reaching but never quite getting there.
with the sands of time in the bottom counting down the clock.
And it's almost empty. Oh my God.
How prophetic.
That's me. I'm sorry. I should be nice.
Well, that was actually really funny. They, announced this week that they will be ready by next month to do static fire of their next first stage, the first New Glenn first stage. And I couldn't help but notice in their pictures of this thing that it doesn't have any engines installed yet.
You mean the hardest part of the rocket is not installed in the rocket?
Hardest part of the rocket hasn't been installed yet.
Those will go in. Those will go in October 27th.
That's the interstage. So
you are absolutely right, and I am retarded.
Typically, they put the engines on the bottom of the rocket rather than the middle.
You are absolutely right.
This is a magical moment. This is a magical moment, and I'm loving every bit of this. Hang on.
I never claimed to be smart. In fact, I've repeatedly said that I'm a moron. Oh my God.
Title change.
Well, if Proton put the engines on the top, they would have gotten to space.
Yeah.
Oh man, space nerd jokes are the best jokes. Anyhow, all right. I feel like the short version of Sierra Nevada is probably never going to the International Space Station ever. It might be able to make it to like a VAST or who's the other one?
Bigelow.
Axiom Space.
Axiom, thank you.
Maybe Starlab, although I'm starting to think that Starlab is a scam.
Yeah, but there are multiple space stations being constructed, so it might actually be able to make it to one of those. And, there might be a future for it there. It's sad to me that it's taken 20 years. Like, yeah. So, but I think we're all excited about it because we all want a space plane. And I don't know why, I just emotionally want a space plane. Based on physics, space planes are dumb. Doesn't matter, still want it, right? Mm-hmm. I think we all want the space plane.
Yeah.
Yep.
Except for maybe Ryan.
I want the space plane.
I don't know. I mean, you like the Ares 1X, so you have no accounting for taste.
You can like more than one thing.
Oh, you know what? Hang on.
Dreamchaser is our emotional support space plane.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right. I feel like that sums it up. Likes more than one thing. I feel like that kind of sums it up. Shall we head over to our first thingy trivia?
Yeah. Believe we've got some trivia questions.
I forgot that I changed the format of this.
Yeah. So luckily for you, Mike, first question is not where are the engines placed on a rocket. It is how many of NASA's
So I have a chance? You're telling me I have a chance?
How many of NASA's 24th astronaut class have previously served in the armed forces of the United States of America?
my
Is it 3?
God.
Is it 5? Is it 7? Or is it 9?
Three, 5, 7, or 9?
I have no idea. I'm gonna have to guess.
Let's start with Jamie because she's at the top for me.
Oh, is that? Wait, hold up. If that's the case. No, that didn't work. All right, actually, we should have the game master up top. Here we go. We'll do that.
There you go.
All right. I'm gonna say 5. Bravo, 5.
Okay. Mike, what do you think?
I thought it was 5 as well, so I'm going with B.
Okay. Unfortunately, it looks like Jared is having connectivity issues today, so let's go to Dutta.
I'm gonna say 7.
Okay. And if we have the results from the chat, we wait. Awkwardly.
It was 5. They
Okay,
voted for
chat
5
goes
as
with
well.
5.
Bravo.
Well, this is quite surprising because only one person got it right, and that was Dutta. Well done, Dutta. Everyone else got it wrong.
Yeah.
What was the answer?
Complete guess. 7.
The correct answer is 7. 7 of the 10 previously
Boo.
served in the Air Force, Navy, and Marine Corps, and Army.
Boo.
I think.
Are you counting Coast Guard?
I do not believe any of the astronaut candidates previously served in the Coast Guard, but I do count all of them and the Coast Guard because that's what it said on Wikipedia.
Is the Coast Guard armed? Are they considered
Yes.
armed forces?
Yes, they are.
I did not know that for some reason. All right, moving on. What's our next topic? Actually, I don't remember. Hang on, you have it.
Let's be positive. Let's have a positive topic.
Yeah, what's our positive topic? Come on, Debbie Downer.
Let's talk about these new astronauts. Let's talk about this new astronaut class and how crazy it is that Anna Menon is a member of this astronaut class. I feel like she probably had the easiest interview ever of what's your prior experience? I've already flown into orbit and been exposed to vacuum. Oh, sign here. Like, how did that go down? That is so crazy. Like, this is the first time in history, right? A prior astronaut is now a NASA astronaut before having been a NASA astronaut. That's crazy.
An astronaut.
An astronaut.
No.
So I think that's pretty incredible. And
it really speaks to just how incredibly advanced that commercial industry has now gotten, considering somebody can now, not of their own accord, but of a private entity's accord, travel into space and conduct such a mission with no government backing whatsoever, and then transition into a career in the public sector. I just think that's really cool. Just the fact that the aerospace industry has now reached a point where people can do stuff because they want to do stuff, and they actually have the means to do so. The industry now allows private individuals to conduct missions like these without having to go through NASA, without having to go through other government agencies, And then if they want to, they can go work for NASA as well. And if you didn't know, Anna Menon also previously worked for NASA. She worked at the Johnson Space Center before joining SpaceX and has now gone back to NASA. So, it's come full circle for Anna.
Welcome back, Jared. We finally got you back in.
Yeah,
We'll see.
I just
We'll
have-
see.
I just have to say, as somebody who is older than all of these children, it makes me sad that my resume is not anywhere near as impressive as these people.
Trust me, being the same age as these people and my resume not being anywhere near as impressive, I can sympathize with that feeling.
What am I doing with my life?
This is meant to be a positive story.
All right, you know
Sorry.
a positive story. Hang on. I'm going to change the topic. Positive story. Artemis is going to go around the moon. How epic is that?
That is awesome. And I don't know about
that
you
was
guys,
my
but
positive
I
story.
actually,
You're welcome.
I actually like the like the name that they've given to Orion, Integrity. It could be easy to make fun of it, but I like the theme of that NASA has done with a lot of vehicles of leaning into like virtues and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Timeline is also moving to the left. I am hearing
Remember
in my
Space Mike,
ear
no one
from
can
our
hear John,
producer,
yeah.
and
Yep.
I'm not sure what he is referring to when he says timeline is moving to the left.
Instead of
the
a
fact that
April
the-
launch time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
instead of an
the
April launch
route-
time, it's being moved.
The rumors that we've been hearing for the last few weeks and months now that they were actually targeting February turn out to be true. What do you know? And they're actually targeting the earliest window opens on February 5th, and I think it's 32 minutes long. So whether SLS can launch in 32 minutes, we'll have to wait and see. But the crew is very much, we'll launch when we're ready. We're not going to be tied down to a date. We'll launch when everything is ready to launch, because if Artemis 1 is anything to go by, we may have a few wet dress rehearsals and hydrogen leaks and scrubs and maybe a rollback to hide from a hurricane. I don't know. Anything's possible these days. But yeah,
Wait, they didn't roll back, right? Didn't they just choose to leave it out there during the hurricane?
they
wasn't
brute
that
forced the hurricane. They brute forced the hurricane.
Yeah.
No, I think they
Yeah.
waited out the hurricane and it was fine. And then they had to roll back because the flight termination batteries ran out or something like that. It was brilliant. They didn't have to roll back for the hurricane. They waited out the hurricane, but then their batteries ran flat. So they then had to roll back to the VAB and replace the batteries or something. It was, orange rocket good.
Orange rocket, good. But I mean, it's
Why-
going to be
why
exciting.
don't-
This
Why don't they have a rotating service structure for the pad for it? Like,
You'd
Yeah.
have
Because-
to
I
have
mean,
a
'cause it's-
gigantic rotating service structure for it.
oh, and the
It's
one
on
for
a
shuttle
mobile-
was small.
We're going to need another
No,
$8
but it would be
billion
double
in 5
shuttle.
more years for that.
the launch
Yeah.
tower rolls out with SLS, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that as opposed to shuttle, where the launch tower was built into the pad for Space Launch System. The shuttle, they go back to the Apollo era where they got a mobile launch tower.
Mhm.
Is that a good idea? Probably not, but they did it. I think the reason behind that was NASA back in the day wanted to turn 39 Bravo into like a universal pad that anyone
Multi-use.
could use, a multi-use pad, which
Yeah, yeah.
anyone in
Flawless idea.
aerospace. Yeah, it's because the problem is the GSE and the connections for all of these things is totally different for every single rocket. It's just not the same. And so their thought process
But
was,
that-
oh,
Go ahead.
I was going to say their thought process was probably, oh, if you just simply have like helium, hydrogen, liquid oxygen, what am I missing? Nitrogen
RP1.
hookups. Yeah. RP1, all of this thing. If you just have those hookups, if you have all the consumables at the pad and like a universal hookup to a mobile launch tower, then everyone can just build out their mobile launch tower and off they go. And all of the commercial space industry said, cool, yeah, we're not going to do that.
I mean, it's not a terrible idea, but it's an incredible investment from anybody that wants to use that, because you have to start with somebody else's tool.
No, it's a terrible idea. And here's why. Because the moment NASA wants to fly Space Launch System and they can't fly it, and you're on the manifest too, and you both need to use the same pad, guess who gets priority? Not you. NASA. So like just out of the gate, no one would want that because they want to be, kicked to the curb.
Build up C.
I mean, they could. So forgive my ignorance. So they were supposed to originally go pad 39 A, B, C, north to south. And I thought they actually, and this might take all of this with a grain of salt. This might be all wrong. I thought they actually built B and C, never built A, and then went back and retroactively renamed A and B. Is that a true statement or a not true statement?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. I don't
So
remember
anyhow,
the
they need to build
details, but
A.
yeah.
They need to build A.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I'm excited for Artemis 2. I think it's going to be epic. This is, the Apollo 8 of our generation, right? This will be the first humans have been away from our planet since the last Apollo moon landing, right?
And
What is that,
could be in all of
1972?
forever, because depending on what launch window they get, there is the potential that their translunar injection burn will take them further than Apollo 13 went. So there is the potential that the crew of Artemis 2 will actually be the furthest humans to have ever traveled from Earth ever, full stop, until Elon goes to Mars or whatever. But yeah, that's an interesting factoid. But again, it depends on the date, and ground umbilical carrier plate does its thing. You never know.
That's super exciting. That's really, really cool, right? Like we should always be trying to do better than before, right? This will be that
Well,
first
I hope they do
moment
better
of
than
like
Apollo 13, but
I don't know. Apollo, look, it's funny you mentioned Apollo 13. I was recently, I don't know why, but the YouTube algorithm was like, hey, you want to listen to the Apollo 13 ground loops? And I was like, actually, yeah, I kind of do. The real ones, right? Not the one from the movie, the actual ground loops. Very different than the movie. Very different than the movie. And it was kind of amazing. It's so many
Less
hours
chaotic?
of kind of, yeah, it's a lot less chaotic. Certainly the movie took many, many hours, like 4, 5, 6 hours worth of issues, and compressed it into like 60 seconds. And so, that whole talking about
Krantz wouldn't have allowed chaos.
Yeah. Also, he was a bit of a dick to
He was a bit of a dick.
What's his name? Seb? It was Sal, right? Like he was he's being a bit of a dick, and I was like, oh man, that's not nice, dude. But yeah, basically, it took him a minute to like figure out that there was like actual issues, and I will tell you, the Apollo 13 crew the entire time, calm and collected the whole time. It's if you just search for Apollo 13 ground loops or flight director loops on YouTube, it is going to take many hours. It's like 3 2-hour videos or something like that. It's fascinating. And it was an amazing, yeah, as Atomic J says, it was well, there we go. It was an amazing success. And she's seen it. Yeah, it was. It really was. Like, it was just issue after issue after issue. And then trying to figure out, like, it was amazing to listen to Ecom just figure out like power management and how to just save the crew. It's incredible. Anyhow,
One thing
I don't view Apollo 13 as a failure. I view it as an enormous success of ground crews and teamwork and figuring things out.
Absolutely. Something I am really excited about, even though we've done this type of flight profile before with Apollo 8, something that NASA is aiming for is in their launch windows, they're hoping to be able to have, when the Artemis 2 capsule integrity is on the far side of the moon, that it's when the far side is the most illuminated, so that we would be able, even though we've seen the far side before, that they would be able to capture images, data, video of illuminated parts of the far side of the moon that we've never seen before. And unfortunately, they are going to be in a comms blackout during that part of the flight. I believe it's like 45 minutes or something around there. So we won't be getting that live, unfortunately. So if there is not Nazi bases back there, we'll probably never see it. No, I'm just kidding. But
No Nazi bases, just the alien bases.
Just the alien bases. Oh, okay. So unfortunately, conveniently, if those are there, they will have time to scrub that before showing us anything from the far side. But in all seriousness, I think that is really cool to try to align things in such a way so that we can get better images and data of places that, especially that we are thinking that water ice might exist in, these either permanently shadowed or ones that are shadowed for a large amount of time. And every time that we have taken images, just certain spots that we haven't been able to see inside of these craters. And if everything aligns well and the timing works out, we might be able to see them for the first time. So small thing, but there is actually something new with this, aside from other science experiments that they're doing with this. It's not just a repeat. We are getting some new data out of this.
Wait, what are the science experiments?
Several CubeSats, which may or may not work. We'll see. But a couple of student experiments, couple of experiments from a few other nations, things to just, help out with lunar mapping, looking for resources. And for some of it, it just seems like a prestige thing. But there will be a little bit of that. And at least on the last Artemis mission, I don't think any of them really worked for any of those CubeSats. However, to be fair, they did sit for a long time without anybody being able to make sure that they were still in any sort of operational state before they launched. Like the makers of a lot of those weren't able to touch them for like 2 years or something like that. So it's not really a surprise that all of them failed.
Yeah.
But, so hopefully that doesn't happen this time.
I think they were integrated 3-ish weeks ago. I can't, but NASA released, I remember NASA released the image of so there's the ICPS, the second stage, then there's a little skirt, and then the Orion European Service Module gets stacked on top of that, and the CubeSats are on that little skirt, and they released pictures of them putting the CubeSats in the skirt a few weeks ago. So it's certainly not going to be years like it was with Artemis 1. It's still going to be a little while though, because like beginning of September to at the earliest beginning of February. But fingers crossed they have a little bit a better chance of success there. Just hitching a ride, free ride. I don't know if it's actually free, but they're CubeSats. They're not that big.
Yeah. One from DLR studying electromagnetic effects in the lunar environment, like for how it's going to interfere with radios and other electronic equipment. So yeah, just small things, but still something. Anyhow, even though we've criticized SLS and Orion a lot, as it gets closer towards the flight, as the weeks and as the months become weeks and the weeks become days, I think we're all going to be excited for it. I'm going to be watching live. I'm going to be rooting for this as excitedly as I would have if this had launched 10 years ago, because it's awesome. And yes, it's an Apollo 8 flight, but I think we're all going to be super excited for it. So here's hoping that all of these pushes and enthusiasm over at NASA succeed and they are able to pull this off in February. If not, then, by April, that's okay too. So I'm looking forward to it.
We're going to send humans to the moon. What's not to
like about that?
There is nothing that can top that.
Right.
Unless maybe going to Mars. But humans are going to the moon. Like, this is a tangible thing we can almost touch. Like, we are days, if not weeks away from a fully stacked SLS in the VAB. Like, it's so close. You can almost lick the Sophie foam off the core stage. Like, it's so close.
This has never been done before.
Yeah.
Well, I would imagine that actually there is some truth to that. I don't think humans have ever been launched intentionally on a free return trajectory from the moon, right? Like, it's all like for Apollo 13, that was a course correction that had to happen.
Yeah.
So so this is this is kind of a first, at least in that sense. If we're feeling pedantic today, then it definitely is, at least at some level, a first. What I'm really looking forward to is working with the public and talking to the public during this, because during Artemis 1, we had people showing up at both of my jobs wanting to watch the live streams that we had on. Like, that was the whole point of them showing up. They didn't care about exhibits or looking through telescopes or anything like that. They just wanted to see what the spacecraft was up to and look at the live cameras that were being broadcast at that time. So now we're going to get it with comms and people talking to each other and saying what they're seeing, and a 3-hour science blitz on the far side of the moon. Like, this is going to be amazing, and I just cannot wait for it to happen. I'm counting down the days to February. It's going to be, and it'll be an amazing week and a half when it finally happens, and I hope we all get as excited as possible about it so that we can help other people catch that fire of excitement about spaceflight.
Let's be honest.
There's something
one of your
extra
works without one key feature, that is all there is to do.
What's up?
I said, let's be honest, that one of your works without one key feature that isn't yet in place, that is all there is to do.
Well, boss, you heard him say it, not me. So
I do think it goes to show that putting humans on board really changes the emotional connection that we have to the mission. Like, it's hard for us as humans to care about robotic missions as much as we care about humans being like, there's just something about that fellowship that makes it easier for us to connect to missions that have humans on board. And so I'm really excited for this mission, just because it will, you'll have that fellowship, you'll have that connection with people that are flying around the moon. Like, we'll be able to look up at night and go and look at the moon and go, there are people there right now. My generation never had that opportunity. I want us to land on the moon, right? I very badly want us to land on the moon. Like, I'm excited for Mars, but as much crap as I give Blue, like, I believe the moon is the real thing that gets humanity to, like, start connecting on another level. And I believe that because it's so easy at night to look up at the moon and then just go, there are people there. It's much harder to do that with Mars, but the moon you can do. And I'm hopeful. Maybe I'm naive. I'm definitely naive, but like,
you're definitely naive. While I agree with everything that you are saying, there is still a grand possibility that somebody's going to screw this up. They need like a media blitz and tours of these astronauts to go meet people in the sticks that don't care about space. Like, there is still a good chance that nobody will know and nobody will care in the grand scheme of things, because they don't publicize it well, because they don't make a big enough deal of it to the right small groups of people who typically don't care about space and won't have that connection. One of the things that the Apollo program did, to the best of their ability, given what the resources and tools they had at the time, was they paraded these astronauts in front of everybody they possibly could. They held press event after press event after press event. The newspaper was a big deal, and they got front cover above the fold for news events and things that were going on. There was a lot of publicity involved, and it wasn't the biggest thing that was happening in the world at the time. So they had a bit of an uphill battle, but they needed to get investment and buy-in from people that would normally not care about this sort of thing in order to be able to get people to pay attention. And I think we need to do that here as well, even though it is just an Apollo 8 mission.
Hold that back up, Mike. I mean, you're definitely not wrong, right? Like, check that out.
I got this a while back, and I actually like this a bit more. This is after they lifted off, not when they landed. So after probably the hype had already died down a bit, but still a historic piece right here, July 22nd, 1969. So saw this in the thrift store.
That's
for
Jeff
$2.
Bezos' propaganda, and you know it.
But it wasn't at that time. So they get a pass. It wasn't at that time. They get a pass.
So, Dada, were you talking about NASA today or Blue Origin's marketing today, or both?
I don't care who does it. I really don't.
And
Somebody
it's both.
needs
I
to
do
do that.
feel like NASA. Go ahead.
I feel like it's a little bit of both. Like NASA does, I feel like they kind of do a good job, and I feel like it's getting better now that they've kind of shrunk the amount of social media accounts that they have. They do a decent job of putting out promotions for their stuff. It's just that nobody picks it up. And hopefully we'll see this in the mainstream media. I would love to see this getting live streamed on all of the major news stations. But if there's anything that we've all been able to notice is that that mainstream gets everything so horribly wrong whenever it comes to anything spaceflight, which is why we need to support our friend Ryan on getting that gig at the BBC so that he can do it properly.
I think they're going to have an uphill battle because you're fighting against algorithms of Twitter and TikTok and does Facebook still work now? Like not everybody has the same kind of media diet, and you have to infiltrate all of them at the same time. Like I didn't see anything in my YouTube algorithm about this new astronaut class. Is that a NASA problem? Is that a me problem? Is that based on my diet? Is that just not being promoted? Like, and with NASA's cutting funding, like they're gonna have a big uphill battle, and it's gonna be very difficult to pull this off if NASA's responsible for it. And Blue Origin, you know that they don't talk about anything until after it's done, so screwed there.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with Blue. Like they have so many opportunities to inspire the planet, and they just take an old space approach. Those media companies you're totally right. That's not how we consume stuff. But maybe that's just like the new world, right? Like you look at the Apollo era and you didn't have very many choices. Newspaper, radio, and TV. And the number of channels you have is very limited.
But they figured out how to tap into all of those. They got the newspaper, they got the TV station. Like they had TV stations on the lawn of Jim Lovell's house when there was a problem on Apollo 13. Like they figured that out. Somebody needs to be able to figure out how to get into these algorithms and be able to popularize space travel for the arguably the biggest event in human history since we landed on the moon the last time. Like
So it says that I wrote that. I actually did not write that. Someone else must have written that in Riverside, but that didn't come from me.
That I never
exactly. Exactly. I've never seen a rocket lab launch.
Yes, but you're doing that out of spite now. You're proud of your record at this point.
I am not. It never comes across my feed. Legitimately, it never comes across my feed.
Yeah, I don't know how to fix that.
It never comes across my feed.
But I think my point is not that. I think my point is that there wasn't an algorithm back then, right? Like they didn't. No. You didn't have to compete for all, like the amount of content, the amount of options now is so much more than what it was back in the Apollo era. They didn't have to fight for eyeballs the same way you have to fight today. And I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying that it's a very different landscape. And I don't think aerospace has figured out how to work in this different landscape yet. They still lean on that old school aerospace because they were there mentality of like, oh, well, when we do big things, we'll just be in front of everyone. And that's just not true anymore. It just isn't. So
but at the same,
I actually do agree with you.
At the same time,
oh God, we agree.
Oh yeah, let me fix that. At the same time, we now have more finitely calculable understanding of what people want and what interests them and what people watch, and we have a better record of what people watch than we have ever had before. So all of the data is there to be able to figure out how to make something that reaches everybody, but it's only controlled by a couple of companies and those their algorithms, and they keep those like lockdown trade secrets. So
I really feel
give them money.
Aerospace.
Here's money. Make sure everybody sees this.
I don't know if they want. So I do. Again, maybe this is just my optimistic naivete, but I feel like aerospace is the thing that brings humanity together and gets us to dream
Yeah,
of
but
a
nobody
better
knows that
future.
yet.
And but these companies that have the algorithm know that that's not what they want. They want the trouble. They want the drama, because when you have trouble and drama and fight, you get eyeballs and you want to come back for more. It's a dopamine hit, right? And that's what they want. They don't want us to be in alignment. They want us against each other. And so I think that's part of the problem.
If it bleeds,
Sorry,
it
not,
leads.
man, this is a depressing episode.
Yeah, and I don't want to have to get people to find
You're
out about
welcome.
this by rage baiting them.
I mean, you know what? Maybe we should rage bait. Welcome to the, hang on. The Church of Space. We're
Welcome
gonna
to
rage.
Space
We're gonna
Church.
start rage baiting at the Church of Space. That's our new edict. We will start rage baiting.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
You need to zip
man.
tie somebody in the flame trench, and if you don't watch, they're not going to get loose.
Wait. Hang on. Wait. We already know that all of this stuff, at least in politics, is fake, right? Like there these battles between, you know, Democrats, it's all fake, right? Maybe that's what we need to do here too. Dutta and I can already, we're really good at, like, I don't want to, it's not pushing each other's buttons because neither one of us actually cares. It's about, like, he says a point and then I will try to find the opposite point just to debate him, and he can do the same thing, right? Maybe Dutta and I just need to go.
I'm going to push back on that a little bit.
As freaking always. God damn it.
So maybe Dutta and I just need to go to a virtual war on, like, we need to make it like,
You mean a
like
crusade?
a battle royale. Oh yeah,
I'm just
holy
kidding.
crusade against each other on the show. A holy space crusade on the show, right? Maybe that'd be like,
Universe
we have
wills
to make,
it.
we have to make people think that we actually hate each other. I don't know. I feel like I might be onto something here. You guys would come to watch Dutta and I just duke it out, right?
Yep.
The best part is, anytime I'm in California, we go together, we go to
And
the
then
club, we
behind
grab
the
some
scenes, we're
whiskey,
sitting there
just
drinking at the
laugh
club,
our
yeah.
fool. All right, I feel like it's time to move on to the next trivia question. I've derailed us enough.
No, how dare you? You're a Martian supremacist and you are silencing my speech. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
So you can't say just kidding. You got to lean into that, Mike.
I'll practice. I'll practice.
It's good that Jared's
You clearly don't know
internet
anything about Martians. They are supreme.
Well, it's good that Jared's internet connection has allowed him to join us for at least the second question, because we have an astrology question for him. Because, of course,
Thank good.
On Monday was the September equinox. But
God,
what time on Monday, UTC,
Crying
that
out
is,
loud.
was the equinox? This is something that impacts everybody on Earth. So everyone should surely know this.
Wait,
Was
no. Everyone,
was
no.
It does
No,
impact
no,
everyone
no.
on Earth, Jamie. Yes, it
No,
does.
no.
Yes, it
Everyone
does.
experiences it. It doesn't impact anyone at all.
Oh,
Well,
that's a BS. You bet it impacts everybody. So from
Oh, you know what?
timekeeping to
Jared, let's
weather
fight.
to other things. So, I'm a throw down with this one, and I got the whole planet and the sun and the distance between the Earth and the sun on my side. So I hope. Let's go. Let's throw it. These hands are ready. Let's get it. So.
All right, let's get the music going.
I haven't even read out the options yet.
Whatever. Read out the options while the music is going.
Okay.
No, just get the music. Oh my
1819?
God, why is this taking so long?
Oh my goodness. Oh my
All
goodness.
right.
A,
No, we can play the
1819.
music while he's
B,
reading the question. Let's go.
1820. C, 1821, or D, 1822.
We wasted so much time, and now we have to wait 30 more seconds for the stupid music thing.
Is this like
Ryan,
astrology
may I,
where
We're all guessing anyway. Like
No,
it's not.
we're waiting. We're waiting for the music. We all gotta wait for the music.
I'm not guessing. I know this, and that's why I was going to ask Ryan because of Jamie's insolence to ask me last.
I will ask you last, Jared. Don't worry. I will ask you last.
All right, well,
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, the music is up. I'm gonna actually. I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ask Jared last, and then I'll ask Jamie penultimate, which makes it really annoying for Jamie. So, Mike, what do you think?
I don't know, dude. 1820, I guess.
Okay, Data.
1821.
Okay, Jamie.
1819.
Okay, and let's do chat room before Jared because I don't want chat room to be influenced. As
We're waiting on the chat room results.
Oh, okay. Chat going with C.
1821 was the chat room.
And Jared, what is going to be your answer? I mean, we're bigging this up now, so it better be right.
1819.
And yeah, Jamie, you actually got it right. The correct answer is 1819 UTC on Monday.
Wow. Jamie finally got one right. Wow.
John, I know we've had this long-standing joke of me having 0, but I want you to put 1 on that board for me today.
Yes,
Jamie's earned it.
I feel like that. I feel like for this one that is warranted. I will concede and provide
I
1
get
point.
1 finally.
Yeah.
Stand by, everyone. We have adjustments to make to our official scoreboard. There was a one field of the scoreboard that was actually coded to be permanent. So now we have to undo that code real quick to update the score to what it properly is after what you just witnessed.
The best part is next week I'm going to have us move back to 0.
Yeah. I'll give you -1 next week, right? For whatever you inevitably get incorrect.
Yeah, you got to make sure that the bookkeepers keep it straight.
Oh,
it was
my
a fun
goodness.
game while it lasted. It was fun but like everyone figured it out. So like, you know. What is my real score, by the way? Does anyone know? It's got to be low because I missed so many shows.
It's 14.5.
14.5. All right.
I demand a recount.
I can't believe I got that right. It's because I know my astrology. That's why. That's why.
Great astrology.
Astronomy is a waste of time, but astrology.
That's where
That's the one to
comes from.
That'll make things happen in your life.
Yeah, you know, I actually defund the astronomers, but the astrology actually take the funding from the astronomers and give it to the astrologers.
Oh,
This is what we need in the reconciliation bill.
Breaking news, everybody. We're going to have a new show on tomorrow where Jamie is going to host us through the latest astrology so that you are up to date.
I quit.
Wait. I love that I have no score at all now.
You've got
It's
nothing.
a tiny little one.
Don't even have.
Oh, it's teeny
It's a tiny little one.
It's the tiniest of ones. I didn't even
pixel.
notice that there.
A pixel.
It's like
Oh my
1
goodness.
pixel tall. Oh my God.
I'll be right
Man.
back. This is. Oh my goodness.
Oh man. All right. I feel like cool. I don't know where Space Mike is going. Is he getting more stuff? Taking out the cat. I feel like we should wrap up this show.
He's just gonna show
Yeah,
up.
God.
Make sure to turn your mic
So,
off.
As we're waiting for Space Mike to show back up, why don't I do a really quick thank you?
We tidy up the show, we close the show, and move on to After Dark. So when he comes back, he's there by himself.
There's no one here. Should we all just turn off our cameras really quick?
No, like
See what he does.
get the show done.
Well, Jared,
let's do this.
Jared, you doing it is just you doing it is just like normal part of the show.
Yeah,
This is comedy.
yeah. I just want to thank our software for doing such a great job on that today. So I've always loved.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
You
You
know,
had
common
issues
denominator
in Mucks. You're
between
having issues
between
here.
EV Mucks and Riverside, and that's you.
Pretty much like everyone else stayed in the show. You're the only one that had issues on both platforms, and we got you a Starlink. I'm just saying.
All I'm gonna say is I don't know what's up with the Starlink, but it's just at times it's just rubbish.
I've got a theory.
and-
You're in the flight path for LAX. Like, are you getting interrupted by planes?
I don't know, maybe. So maybe the plane
That's
should
why
go
he
somewhere
keeps
else.
disconnecting, because every time a plane flies over his house, it cuts his connection to the internet.
Actually, considering the angle that it has to face and the altitude in the sky that the planes often are, both in terms of like actual altitude and like altitude on the sky, Dada, I think you may be onto something here. So clearly I'm going to have to move and to somewhere where there aren't planes. So South Pole sounds good. Anybody got a hook up?
I've got plenty of bandwidth here. You can come over and like squat on the couch.
Oh God! Now there are two
Squat
of
on
them.
the couch.
Yeah.
Both
There's
of you
room
in the frame
my-
at the
in my
same
office
time?
for both of us.
Yeah,
There's
we could
No.
wear our get along together shirt too. It's a very special two-headed shirt. So
I'm was stupid.
All right. On that note,
Sorry,
now that
I was stupid.
oh, I was gonna wear the one looking up, but that's okay.
my God. All right. On that note, I am going to close out the show and thank all of the members of Tomorrow who helped to make this happen week after week, month after month, year after year. I was talking with someone at Company X about the show not that long ago, and they're like, "Oh, when did you start that?" And I was like, "Oh my God, 2008 is when we started the show, if you can believe it." And we've been going for, I think we're actually one of the longest running, if not the longest running, like space show on the internet. How epic
Stood
is
off the
that? That
Dreamchaser,
you
though.
all. How epic is that we did that? I can't believe that it is after. I can't believe that Dreamchaser started before us. Anyhow, I want to thank all of the members of Tomorrow who helped make this happen. There are different membership levels that you can subscribe to, starting at ground support, and then going up to whatever level works for you inside of your, whatever it might be. There's
Inside
also
of
a
your
level
budget.
below this. Oh yeah, inside of your budget, exactly. There's also a level. Wow, Mike, you are very loud for some reason. There is a level below this called system support that works. Blah 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 blah. You guys know the drill. Also, everyone who had their name on the screen and everyone who is in system support will also be able to watch After Dark coming up next, which we're probably going to talk about. Chris has had a rant apparently.
Yeah. This is Chris Kemp. It's gonna be fun.
Ryan is excited. So on that note, thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next week.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.